Calls. Committee Broad Economic Resources, rise for pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll open the meeting to public comment on items not on the agenda. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move to the COS review and decision.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I have a boundary relocation for Dean Fulford in the lower part of the town, or the county. This area here, he needs a little more room for his semis to turn. So he's adding almost 100 feet.
Who's that he just,
Dean Fulford.
oh, okay.
So this is Wheat, Montana here.
Okay.
So it's right next to Wheat, Montana, and the motel sits back here. And so he's adding about 100 foot onto that parcel. He owns both of them.
Okay. The motion to accept, so
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept, what do you call this here?
A boundary
Boundary
relocation.
motion for Dean Folkvard.
I'll second. Motion's been made and seconded to accept boundary relocation for Dean Fulford as presented. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries.
The next one I have is for Table Mountain Ranch Corp. Down south also, right on the boundary between Gallatin and Broadwater. And they own quite a bit of acreage down here. These pieces are cut off from the highway, so they're just separated from a deeded highway. So we're doing a retracement of the area north of the highway.
Now, which highway we talking about, 287 or the interstate?
Yeah, 287, yes. And what it is a portion of this parcel here and this parcel here that's divided by the deeded highway, so it's called a divorced tract, because it's divorced from the original tract by a deeded highway.
And so, what will this do? This will just make it as a,
Yes, they're already separate because they're separated by the highway, so it just gives a legal description and for that area north of the highway.
Does that make does that make that into two separate tracks then
Yes.
off of the other piece?
Yes.
And what are the sizes of those?
They are 60, almost 65 acres and 56 acres. And by MCA code, they're already individual tracts, but this just gives them legal descriptions and gets them deeded separately.
Is there a motion to approve?
yeah, I'll make a motion to approve that. what's the name? of it?
divorce tracks for Rock
Table
Mountain, Table Mountain Ranch.
Okay,
I'll second. Motion's been made and second to approve divorce track for Table Mountain Ranch. All in favor?
aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Let's see, we have minutes from October 1st, 2018. Motion to approve.
I'll move to accept the minutes. October, is it October 1st?
Yes.
October 1st.
Motion, I'll second. Motion been made and seconded to approve minutes from October 1st, 2018. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Claims. Claims in the amount of $65,975.23.
I'll move to make payment on the stated amount of claims are as stated.
I'll second. Motion been made and seconded to pay his claims in said amount. All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Hero claim in the amount of $168,630.78.
I'll move to pay payroll claims in the stated amount.
Motion, I'll second the motion. Motion been made, second to pay payroll claims in said amount. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Claims in the amount of $33,625.68.
I'll move we pay the approved claims in the stated amount.
I'll second the motion. Motion's been made, second to pay claims in said amount. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. See, we have a, Bill Flanner restitution receipt, accounting department for metering charges. So I have a letter from, Broadwater from John Willoughby. Dear Commissioner, I want to take a moment to thank you for supporting our efforts to stop the illegal dumping of tires on Muffley Lane. You have listened patiently to our concerns and complaints and helped us contact the appropriate boards and agencies to assist in shutting down the unlicensed dump site. We have only taken the first legal steps today with the injunction being granted against the operators of the site, and will continue to work with county and state officials to ensure proper and legal cleanup of tires. Your continued backing of our efforts is appreciated. Also letters to the Board of Health and to Horace Swanson. materials from Dakota Playground, rural Montana, pipeline awareness, clear span fabric structures, and wastewater management. You close the commissioners' meeting and move to a public hearing to adopt the final budget amendments of fiscal year 17-18. Debbie?
It's the original that will need your signature. These are finishing amendments that resulted in end of the year changes as we were finishing budget, final claims that were turned in past the deadline, things we had to clean up. And this is summarizing all those changes into what accounts. You need to read them all. There's an attachment that details them. I can read them if you like. Or what would you prefer?
Maybe read them off then. That sound okay with you?
That's, you're in charge. So there was a net increase to the general fund expenditures of $4,878. The predatory animal, the sheep and the cattle fund, there was an additional spending increase, and that had to do with end of the year, last year's not being paid till this year, so it showed this year we paid more than we did last year, or something to do with the funding. So the sheep, there was an additional $520 paid out this year, so we had to increase the spending. And the cattle, $4,224.50. Airport expenditure, $49.60 increase. District court expenditure net increase, $8,374.18. And that had to do with those unexpected involuntary commitments that she had. Planning and community development, an increase in spending $2,152.04. Public safety revenue net increase $101,886. Junk vehicle expenditure net increase $6,699.20. PILT, a net increase expenditure of $67,309. Victim witness revenue increase of $4,401.29. The bioterrorism health grant, a net increase of $301.96. Home health aid grant, net increase $1,011.36. Immunization net expenditure increase $1,936.47. She's had a lot of extra expenses and needs for these things, more shots, so she spent more than she anticipated, so we covered those. The Deep Creek spending, there's a net increase of $2,801.55.53. The CIP general fund net increase $1,430.31. The ambulance revenue budget amendment, there was an additional $36,861 in revenue received. The airport revenue budget amendment, there was an additional $14,012 in junk vehicle. CIP, a net increase of $6,699.20. And silos expenditure budget amendment net increase $142.78.
Is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing for the adopted final budget amendment and reopen the commissioners' meeting. We'll have a decision, is there a motion to accept the, adopt the final budget amendments for fiscal year 2017-2018?
I voted against it before. I guess it's to the point we gotta keep moving. With reservations, I'd make a motion that we go ahead and get this budget over with.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Motion been made and seconded to adopt the final budget amendments for 2017, 2018. All in favor?
With reservations, I'll say yes.
Aye. Motion carries. Yes, Dwayne?
Dwayne Hall. I would like to know if anybody knows how much money they got left in Pilt.
Do you?
This report, as of today, there's $393,754.48 in Pilt.
Thank you.
And that, we've already taken out the $100,000 to go to the Barris case?
That- Yes.
Okay. Yes, Tim?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question. There was some PILT funding that was awarded to MBAC on the TEDD project down in the south end of the county, the temporary taxable district. And the meeting has changed that with a verbal agreement to move forward with MBAC making the investment rather than the taxpayers, with their ability to make restitution to their investment. Is that $40,000 that was originally awarded to MBAC going to be returned to the PILT account, or did that stay within that project?
That 40,000 wasn't taken out of PILT, that 40,000 was taken out of the money paid from the Wheatlands turn lanes.
Or I thought.
It
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
pulled out of PILT.
So will that stay in that account, or will it be returned to general budget, or?
Mr. Chairman, that money was actually never moved anyplace. It was agreed to do that, but nothing was ever done with it, is my understanding.
Oh, okay, so that money it was agreed to come out of PILT, but it wasn't taken out of PILT. So that money wouldn't go to them back.
Okay. So just curious if that was reworked or not. Thank you, sir.
I'm just gonna get set up and you tell me when you're ready.
Okay. we will go to the 10:30 Nicole Brown, Community Development Director, Sage Hill Minor Subdivision, request preliminary plat approval.
Good morning. So a few weeks ago, gosh, maybe 3 weeks ago, I gave you the Sage Hill preliminary plat application. I believe I gave you these findings of fact in order, but just in case I did not, there's another copy for you. Preliminary plat. If you recall, the reason we tabled this, the developer actually gave an extension because he was hoping to have a determination on Springville Road, whether or not it was a county road. And do you have any new information on that? On Springville Road becoming a county road? You don't have anything to share with me?
We don't have anything that says that it is a county road.
Okay. I have no new information that I've received to share with you to prove that Springville Road is a county road, past the cattle guard. We do have evidence in the clerk and recorder's office in the documents there that it is actually a county road to the cattle guard, but beyond the cattle guard, it's undetermined.
Corey's here if he has any more information.
Do you want a copy of the findings of fact and order?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to work on this at
Yeah.
all. I haven't looked at it.
So would you like me to read over these conditions again?
Yeah, probably should.
Okay. Bless you. So beginning on page 6, we'll pick up where we left off. These are the conditions of approval submitted to the commissioners by the Broadwater County Planning Board for the Sage Hill minor subdivision, a 5-lot minor subdivision in Broadwater County. So condition number 1, plans for sewage treatment and water supply shall be submitted to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality for review and approval. The certificate of approval shall be filed with the final plat. All specifications and approved plans shall be met. Number 2, prior to any development and/or soil disturbance, a weed management plan for the proposed development shall be submitted to the County Weed District for review and approval. All specifications and requirements of an approved plan shall be met. Number 3, the applicant will be required to submit the final plat drawings in electronic format to Broadwater County in ArcGIS, AutoCAD, or MicroStation format. Additional materials may be requested by the county in electronic format to facilitate review of application materials. 4, the applicant and the Fire Protection Authority having jurisdiction shall use their best efforts to draft a fire protection plan specifically for this subdivision in accordance with Broadwater County subdivision regulations. The plan shall be equally acceptable to the FPAHJ, the applicant, and the county governing authority. The plan shall adequately address the fire risk analysis, all findings of fact, and appropriate mitigation measures. In the event the parties are unable to come to an agreement by the time of final plat submittal, the applicant shall become eligible to provide the per lot cash in lieu fee for water supply, as may be defined in the Broadwater County subdivision regulations in effect at the time of submittal. Number 5, the final plat shall be prepared in accordance with the applicable state survey requirements, Montana Subdivision and Platting Act survey requirements, and the county subdivision regulations. Number 6, the applicant shall provide a driveway easement from Springville Lane to lot 24D, which you can see on the plat there is the northernmost lot, or Spring Street must be designed in accordance with the Broadwater County subdivision road standards, stamped by a professional engineer, and submitted to the County Planning Department for review and approval, unless a legal determination is made that Spring Street is a county road. In the event that it is determined Spring Street is not a county road, a letter from the PE shall be provided to the county stating that the road and any improvements have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans and specifications, and that he or she has completed an inspection of the road and any improvements. Number 7, the applicant shall contribute the cost to upgrade the existing road, Springville Lane, to Broadwater County subdivision road standards from the cattle guard to the driveway entrance of the westernmost lot. The county commissioners must determine if this is a local number 1 road or a local number 2 road. Number 8, the book and page reference to the restrictive covenant filed with the county clerk and recorder shall be indicated on the face of the final plat. In addition, restrictive covenants revocable or alterable only with the consent of the Board of County Commissioners shall be placed upon the property and shall provide for the following. Subitem A, notification of the potential health risk from radon concentrations and that such risk can be evaluated through soil tests and mitigated through radon abatement techniques incorporated into structures. B, a notification that all dwelling units within the subdivision should be constructed to specifications which meet or exceed equivalent provisions in the applicable state building code for this seismic zone, which is Zone 3. C, any additional replacement or relocated utility lines shall be installed underground in accordance with county subdivision regulations unless otherwise determined by the utility provided. D, any exterior lighting shall be directed downward to minimize visibility beyond the property lines. E, a waiver of the right to protest to join a special district for the purpose of providing community water and or wastewater treatment system improvements and or maintenance. F, a restrictive covenant binding the landowner, any heirs, successors, and assigns, and all future owners of property within the subdivision, agreeing therein to hold Broadwater County harmless and indemnify Broadwater County from all claims, demands, obligations, suits, causes of action, damages, and liability, including the county's costs and attorney's fees arising in any manner whatsoever out of or relating to the existence, use, operation, repair, and or maintenance of the following. Subitem 1, earthquake fault zone and any seismic activity, and subitem 2, water availability. G, all cats and dogs must be restrained, penned, or otherwise under the control of their owner at all times. H, notification of the presence of agricultural operations in the vicinity. I, each lot shall be maintained in a clean, attractive, and weed-free manner. Noxious weeds must be pulled, sprayed, or cut prior to seed maturity. J, a waiver of right to protest joining a rural improvement or maintenance district for the purpose of road maintenance, mosquito control, or equitably funding parks and maintenance of parks. K, address numbers shall be clearly marked at the driveway entrance to each lot and be easily identified from the road. L, a notification that lots in this subdivision may be subject to impact fees if in place prior to lot sales. Number 9, prior to filing the final plat, the applicant shall A, provide proof that all taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquencies, and B, provide documentation, an abstract of title or platting certificate showing that the applicant is the lawful owner of the property with the apparent authority to subdivide the same, showing the names of lien holders or claimants of record and the written consent to the subdivision by the owners of the land, if other than the applicant, and any lien holders or claimants of record against the land. The applicant is financially responsible for actual outside engineering, consulting, professional and or contracted service fees, etc., at the sole discretion of the county for additional review and or final plat approval of the proposed subdivision. Preliminary plat approval of the Sage Hill Minor subdivision shall be enforced for 3 calendar years. At the end of this period, the governing body may, at the written request of the subdivider, extend its approval for no more than 1 calendar year. However, the governing body may extend its approval for a period of more than 1 calendar year if that approval period is included as a specific condition of a written subdivision improvements agreement. A party as defined by 763625 MCA who is aggrieved by a decision of the governing body may, within 30 days after this decision, appeal to the Broadwater County District Court. So I have a bit of information for you regarding condition number, I don't know if it was 7 or 8. 7. The county commissioners must determine if this is a local number 1 or a local number 2 road. So I've printed off a map of all of the homes in Springville that utilize Springville Lane beyond the cattle guard. I'm showing there are 32 homes currently utilizing that. With the addition of this 5-lot subdivision, that would put that at 37. We, in our growth policy plan, determined that 8 vehicle trips per day per home is our calculation. And I did not write that number down, so someone smarter than me can figure out what 37 times 8 is. I have 296? Is that right? Okay. So a local number 2 road is anything beyond 400 vehicle trips per day. So even though there is the ability for more homes in Springville because the lots are there, there currently are not that many homes.
So this would be a local one?
A local number 1 is what I would suggest.
Need a motion to keep this as a local road number 1 or just agree?
think we would, yes, approve it as a local number
And these conditions are certainly available for you to amend at your discretion. So if you choose to make that motion, then I would amend the condition before you sign off on this findings of fact and order report.
So you want a motion on this then?
I think it would clear things up for the developer.
Any other discussion on it, or?
So is there another subdivision coming out west of this?
Yes. West and slightly north.
So is that gonna increase that traffic, and does that change?
It will, but it will not affect this developer because this one was in first. So we'll have a similar discussion on the next subdivision that you see coming forward.
So it's not gonna, there'll be an effect, but he's not the one causing the effect?
Correct.
Okay. So is there a motion to classify that as a local one road then?
So make the motion describe, as described as a local number 1 road.
Is this Springville, so is this gonna be called the Springville Road or Springville Lane?
I would have to look and see what the sign out there says, but in all of my maps that my GIS documents that I have electronically, I identified as Springville Lane.
Okay.
Springville Lane, okay.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Motion's been made and seconded to determine that Springville Lane is a local one traffic road. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same, motion carries. Is there any other discussion?
No discussion from me unless there's something else from you that you want brought out.
I do not. The developer's representative is here. She may have something to add on this regarding the status of the road.
Yeah, I would like to just make a comment that moving forward, especially before final, we would need a determination. Like I had when I came before, the petition was for Springville Lane and Springville Road, 2 specific roads. The declaration was that Springville Lane and Springville Road be a county road. There was no S plural. I do argue, I think if one was rejected, I would have thought that would have been in the minutes. But the petition by Wanda Watson was specifically called out, and that was specifically for 2 roads. So I mean, moving forward, from the developer, if it's a county road, he cannot do any maintenance to it or develop it. If it's not a county road, then yes, he will. So for clarification, I think the developer definitely needs to know whether he can work on the road or not work on the road. And moving forward to because this was the main road into Springville, I think is, why they were trying to get it to declared a county road. At the time of the petition, the road was different, the Springville Road. The new legal description of Springville Road was put into the petition, or the, when they declared it a county road, because of it being moved, but the Springville Lane portion of it was not changing. And I think that's where it gets confusing now, because I don't believe the words are interchangeable. There was a specific Springville Lane and a specific Springville Road.
Doesn't Springville Road stop at the cattle guard?
No,
And
it
this is
continued.
Springville Lane?
When it was declared a county road at the cattle guard, it continued straight south, which is now
Desert
Desert
Drive?
Drive. So the name was changed on that portion of it. But the legal description of Springville Road included Desert Drive at the time that it was accepted as a county road.
But Springville, what is marked down here as Springville Road is actually Springville Lane,
Yes.
and that is not a county road.
That's what's open for interpretation.
Our stance is that Springville Road ends at the cattle guard. So this is not, from what we know, this is not a county road.
Right now, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, that is unknown or needs interpretation. Because like I said, the petition was for the two separate roads. It's just in the declaration, it said Springville Lane and Springville Road as described as follows. But the declaration doesn't specify an S on the end of roads.
And Desert Drive is a county road.
Yeah, so. Was it stated in there that the name change was done to, as Desert Drive instead of Springville Road, or? I guess it really doesn't matter, it's county
That
road
was,
one
yeah,
way or
done
the other.
years later when that subdivision went through.
Oh.
So I guess you'll be hearing from me again though before final, so that, the landowner knows what he can or cannot do to the road.
Corey?
So how long, what's our timeline of between now and final then?
3 years.
Say again?
The developer has a limit of 3 years.
As you can see with the pile of documents behind me, which you're gonna get next, I just have been finishing other things, I haven't even looked at it. But an option, based on some work I've already done on Springville and other things, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that those streets in Springville are public, right? Those public roads, it was established as a platted town site. And the road is most likely, I don't know that there's anyone gonna dispute that it's a public road. The county could declare it a county road to make this very simple as part of the process, which would mean then the developer wouldn't do any improvements, the county would be responsible for all those improvements. Or the county could say, hey, we need to literally know for sure before we do it, because we don't wanna spend all the money if the developer is gonna do that. And I would just need some time to get into the archives to figure that out. And I don't think it'll take as long as this one behind me, but it'll take a little bit of a while. So it's possible we could have, shouldn't say it's possible, depending on how we synchronize when final is, I could definitely have an answer and a recommendation on that before final. I just can't do it today, because I just had, other things are, urgent things are in line ahead of it. What are your thoughts on that, Bernadette?
That sounds fine, and I have the documents that I've pulled from in here, and, I can get with you and give you all those.
Is there anyone that's gonna dispute that those are public roads, or public streets and those?
No,
Because I mean, they're,
no, I don't, there's nobody disputing it, because, like I said, it's the main entrance into Springville, so, the way it stands right now, with it being up in the air, I would think it would be very beneficial to the county, because then we wouldn't have an issue like we do on some roads, if, like, I know this landowner wouldn't, but if he decided to say, okay, this is not a county road, I'm gonna block it off, or, you know, make him find a different route or something. So I think it would be beneficial to the county to go ahead and declare it a county road, so there's just no questions.
So with this one and then with another road issue I'm working on, which in the next month I'm gonna bring to you guys, there's just a lot of, it's like, I don't know what happened here. It's all these old ghosts have just come out of the grave from somewhere between 20 and 100 years ago. I've got all these literally county road issues that, anyway, we're deep into history. So I think one of the concerns would be, at least you guys should think about, is road maintenance obligations and improvement obligations on a going forward basis. When we've got some other road issues that I'm gonna bring to you pretty soon that I think are gonna certainly take a lot of time, and if potentially some commitment of resources if we have to fix some roads, so.
So how would we approve this with a condition of what we determine on this road then?
So I've given this some thought, and my recommendation to you would be to, if you're feeling like you're happy with the plan, to give it preliminary plat approval. We can always come back and amend the conditions of preliminary plat approval if it's determined that it's a county road, and that amendment would then eliminate condition number 7, or could eliminate condition number 7 if it's determined it's a county road.
So it'd basically be a conditional approval, or what would that be?
It would be a conditional approval, preliminary plat approval with conditions, and then it would be on the developer's representative to come back and say, hey, you know, I want you to revive this, I want you to look at this, I want you to make a determination whether or not it's a county road, and then at that point you could come back and you can always amend preliminary plat approval. That's in our subdivision regulations and in MCA, that you can amend your preliminary plat approval.
Okay.
So what do you think about that, Bernadette?
I think so, because that would give you and I some time. Like I said, I don't think this one will be as difficult as some of the others.
Probably not.
Because, like I said, I have the copy of the petition, and it specifically says 2 roads. And I have the map of where the original Springville Road was and why it was changed, and that Springville Lane was a separate road. And like I said, I don't know if it was, you know, just an oversight or misunderstanding in the declaration when it was typed up. But I think, you know, it was pretty specific that it was for 2 roads.
And my reason for suggesting moving forward like that, the deadline for action on behalf of the county was September 27th. The developer gave the county a 20-day extension to make the determination. So now the deadline for the county to take action is October 17th. So you have the option of giving denial, approval, or approval with conditions. I think it would be preferential to the developer if you were to give approval with conditions at this point, since we don't have a request for another extension. Then that way this can still be working on the sidelines.
And we could, I know he would go another week or 2, but that may not be enough time. So
Right.
maybe this would be the best option, just to move forward.
So did this issue come up at the planning board level, or where did this come up? When did
I
we
brought it
become aware
up.
of it?
I brought it forward when I did the research for legal access to the subdivision.
So would ordinarily, I would think ordinarily this would not have come forward from the board to the commissioners until that was resolved. Am I mistaken on that?
Well, there was no resolution on determination of whether or not it was a county road, and so the county still had this timeline of September 27th. That's why the developer gave the extension of 20 days. I realize that's not a lot of time to dig into the road situation, but when the county has to make the determination if it's a county road or not a county road, and we have this legal timeline, this seemed to be the best option in the planning board, speaking with the developer's representative, Bernadette, and with the commission.
So is there an obligation to basically demonstrate you have certain level of access to be considered complete to even go to the next stage?
There is legal access. It is public access. It was just a matter of the county needed to determine, shouldn't say needed, at the request of the developer. The developer requested the county determine whether or not it's a county road, but that came in
Okay.
halfway through the
I just
process.
think it would make sense to try and start engage on this board level before it comes to the commission if there's an unanswered question like that hanging out.
Yeah, it was brought before the board and, I guess that's why they turned it over to you, for your determination.
Well, when I found out about it, it was at a meeting where I wasn't at, and it was a deadline that, then I found out about later, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen. I got court between now and then, it's just not gonna happen, so.
Yeah, they definitely have legal access because to their property line, is another subdivision. So it's through those two 20-acre parcels and then it joins into Springville that the question arises. Everything's county road to there and then there's Springville. But because that was a subdivision prior, that is a designated public road. So the subdivision has public access or legal access. But the landowner just wanted to know, okay, you know, what can I or can I not do to the road because.
Okay, understood.
So is there a motion to approve the preliminary plat with conditions?
I would still make that motion with the approval of the road conditions. Amendments, whatever will take place on those amendments then.
So,
And I'll second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve preliminary plat with conditions on the road. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries.
so I'm not going to have you sign this findings of fact and order document until I amend that condition regarding the commission determination of local number 1 or local number 2.
Okay.
Are we early or are we on time? We're early. Are we supposed to start at 11?
Yeah. Do you, you got this letter from Scott Hyatt?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, let's see, hey, how are you? Good. Is Joe Schmaus out there? Has anyone seen him? Got any papers you're not using? We can hold that down. There we go. For you. So I got, there's some big packets here of documents, but if anyone, I got 3 or 4 extra copies over there for the public if anybody wants them. If you get the packet though, you gotta get, do you want one?
Please.
You gotta get both halves of it here. These are just extra letters, so.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a packet? You want one? And then I can, anybody just gives me their information, if they want anything sent, I can get it to you. Just a lot of stuff here, so.
Excuse me, Mr. Thompson. I have picked up a copy of the memo stuff from you here a couple weeks ago. Is this new from what I before.
Was it the thick packet with all the documents in?
There was some quite a bit of stuff there.
Yeah, so there was just one additional, thinner packet. I emailed the memo to Bobby for the newspaper
Oh.
last week, but there's just a few more supporting documents
Okay.
that you might
Thank
not have.
sir.
If
I
not,
just wanted to make sure we weren't back on the back porch here.
I don't know, do you wanna wait till 11, and is there anything else you wanna cover while we're waiting?
Let's see. Oh, I don't think so. I do have one other thing here. We have a request for, to approve Cole license for a member of the solid waste letter of interest. Did you see that?
No, I think that.
He was the guy that worked with us before.
Need a motion there, just approval, I think it's always approval here.
Yeah. A motion been made to approve Cole Isings as a member of the Broadwater County Solid Waste Board. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Need a copy of that?
Please.
That's really all we got with that. Yes,
Have you
Wayne?
heard from Mr. Amps on that agreement at all?
No, I have not.
I haven't either, so he picked it up last week and haven't heard back. So,
Okay.
Everything else we have though, so, maybe I'll reach out to him and see how he's feeling about it, I guess. So,
Okay.
But otherwise, all the hours were all taken care of and I got his license and insurance and stuff, so, the agreement Cory went over, so I just let Bill take it so he could read it, and he hasn't responded back, so.
Okay.
But other than that, does that need to come back after that then?
I think it just needs to get signed with Bill.
Okay.
And then I think that's all we have to do is make sure we had a signed contract. It was all we really had to do.
Okay.
Corey, did you get a copy of this stuff from Joe?
I got a packet. I heard there was some more stuff that came in Friday. I'm not sure if I got that.
That's the one I got this Friday. Is there these index cards that you were talking about? Are there different dates on those cards, or are they all processed at one time? Is each card processed one time?
I don't know. As I understand, as I assume it works, as a road might change in a particular township, then someone from the clerk's office will go in and hand draw in maybe an additional road or something like that, and then there's a little place for notes, and they'll write book and page number of the proceedings where you can find the documents associated with that
Oh, okay.
particular road. But, Dan, we're talking about these hand-drawn cards of county roads, and there's a packet of them that's missing from the records now, and so we're kind of wondering what had happened with those. I have a full copy because the researcher on a different project made a full copy of all of them and gave them to me in the beginning of 2017, and so
But they're not in
they're not.
the envelope in the can that they're supposed to.
No, they're not. And I called that researcher back and said, where exactly did you find them? Took me to the exact spot. That can is there, the envelope is there, the cards are not in the envelope. And so what I do have is the full photocopy of what was there at the beginning of 2017, and I've given that to these guys and give that to your office just in terms of having that copy, but the original cards,
Yeah, I have no idea, you know, and there's really no way of determining when they disappeared or how long ago. I don't know, but it would be nice to have a copy that I can put in there with an explanation.
okay, I'll get you a copy then.
Okay, thank you.
The reason I asked, he gave us this exhibit 7 here.
Yeah.
There's numbers on here that evidently have been changed.
There's numbers on that are different from the document I received separately from a different researcher.
Well, what I'm saying is these, if you look at these 8s on here, the 8 and the 7 have been changed on 2 documents, and the 8 doesn't match any of the previous 8s that's written on that card. If you look at the 8 on the bottom line where it says on the right-hand side south,
Where it says 13 and then 1-87.
that 8 doesn't match any of the 8s above, and it does, and the same thing with the 8s on the other side on the other card. The 8 on the bottom on the south on the opposite side is the same way. And it doesn't match the other 8s in that color. And then the other one on, is that 39? Is that 37 or is that 38? The one on to be on the left-hand side, the second line up.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. It could be any of the 3 and then worked over, right?
Corey, we do have copies of those cards also at our office.
Oh, did you?
From probably when we copied them probably 10 years ago or better.
Would you be able to provide a copy to Ann?
Mhm.
And then I'll give her my copy I got mine from Jeannie Holmgren from Forest Service on a totally unrelated deal. And I didn't realize I had them. I was going back and doing more work on something else last week. And I found them and realized that I had full set.
Yeah, we have a full set that we made years ago, at least 10 years ago. So if anything's been changed, they wouldn't have been on ours.
How long ago was Alice Crittenden clerk and recorder?
Quite a while ago, I could,
1923. That's what this is for. Oh, that was when it was filed. But I don't know if that was just a note that she made.
Well, that
She
envelope's,
was actually the clerk and recorder in 1923.
yeah, well, that envelope's not in there. There's a different envelope in there now. But it still says 62A on the top of it.
So with this face card with the Broadwater County roads, that would be the envelope?
Yep, that middle thing that says Broadwater County and handwritten,
Yeah.
and then it says Alice Crittenden. I assume that was the envelope within which those cards were contained.
Oh,
So you go there now, and there's a different envelope. It still says clerk and recorder. It's more modern, but it's a 62A on the top in pencil, because that's the
Okay.
order it is in that file. But that old envelope's not inside, and all the cards are not inside.
oh,
I
okay.
know they were there. Jeannie Holmgren found them over the winter of 2016, 2017 in that bin. She made copies, she left the originals there. So that, and I got those copies from her in the spring of 2017. So
Okay.
that's the soonest, or that's the last time for sure that I know that someone's told me they were there.